Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Not even the cast of 1923 is sure who Kevin Costner's grandparents are in Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan always has tricks up his sleeve. Even the cast of 1923 aren't quite sure who John Dutton's grandparents are supposed to be in Yellowstone. Kevin Costner's central John Dutton character may have been killed off in the final episodes of the Western drama, but his presence loomed large. Still, as the Taylor Sheridan-created franchise moves forward, with 1923 Season 2 premiering February 23 on Paramount+, one question regarding John Dutton's grandparents hasn't been definitively answered. In an interview with Screen Rant's Tatiana Hollander for 1923 Season 2, cast members were asked whether they had discussed John Dutton's grandparents, and if they had a bit of a running bet on the subject. Michelle Randolph, who plays Elizabeth Strafford, and Darren Mann, who plays Jack Dutton, shared their thoughts in the exchange below. Asked if they knew who John Dutton's grandparents were, Randolph and Mann mostly agreed that they didn't know. Julia Schletfer, who has the role of Alexandra, said that her scene partner Brandon Sklenar, Spencer Dutton, was more confident about the subject than she was and pointed out how Sheridan always has tricks up his sleeve. The Dutton family tree has been somewhat confusing, with even some of the actors admitting that they're unsure of how all their characters are related. As it stands, though, Sklenar's confidence that his co-star alludes to may well be indicative of what's to come. Sklenar's character, Spencer, is one of James and Margaret's children from the prequel 1883. It may be the case that he's the one who turns out to be John Dutton's grandfather. Spencer gets a lot of focus in the first installment of the Paramount Plus series, arguably leading the 1923 cast alongside Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. Certain voiceovers and editing choices also give the impression that Spencer's full significance in the story has not been fully divulged, such as a scene that lingers on Spencer when the narration talks about a person carrying forward the Dutton name. In any case, it's a bit of a mystery that may well shape the rest of Yellowstone and pave the way for more spin-offs. Whether or not Spencer turns out to be so closely connected to John, as has been hinted, his importance to the overall story is something to keep an eye on as 1923 Season 2 debuts after a long absence. It is perhaps on the back burner on the whole, all the same since Spencer is working hard to make his way back to the people he loves. The Yellowstone universe, sprawling and intricate as the Montana landscape it calls home, has fans and even actors scratching their heads when it comes to one crucial question. Who are the true grandparents of Kevin Costner's John Dutton? If anyone thought the prequel series 1923 would lay this mystery to rest, they were sorely mistaken. In fact, the cast themselves seem just as perplexed as the audience. Ever since 1883 and 1923 expanded the world of Yellowstone, tracing the lineage of the Dutton family has become more like solving a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside a conundrum. The show's mastermind, Taylor Sheridan, is known for keeping secrets close to the vest, and this particular puzzle appears to be one of his best-kept ones yet. The twisting Dutton family tree. Fans first expected 1923 to provide clear answers about John Dutton IE's ancestry, but instead, it threw in even more complexity. We know that 1883 introduced James and Margaret Dutton, played by Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, as the earliest known Duttons, and by the time 1923 begins, their children, John Dutton Sr. and Spencer Dutton, are at the forefront. So, logically speaking, one of them must be the direct ancestor of Kevin Costner's John Dutton IE. However, that's where things get murky. John Dutton Sr., played by James Badge Dale, seemed like the obvious choice, until 1923 shocked audiences by abruptly killing him off. With his fate sealed, all eyes turned to Spencer Dutton, Brandon Sklenar, the adventurous, war-hardened younger brother. But here's the kicker. As of now, there's no explicit confirmation that Spencer is indeed the grandfather of John Dutton IDA. The cast is just as confused. Given that the Yellowstone timeline is carefully orchestrated and sometimes rewritten on the fly, even the 1923 cast members have admitted they don't have all the answers. In a recent interview, Helen Mirren, who plays Cara Dutton, laughed when asked about John Dutton IE's true lineage. "Taylor Sheridan always has tricks up his sleeve," she quipped. "Even we don't get the full story sometimes." Brandon Sklinner, who portrays Spencer Dutton, also shared his own uncertainty. "You'd think I'd know if I'm playing John Dutton's grandfather, right?" he said with a smirk. But honestly, Taylor keeps that stuff really close to the chest. "We get scripts as we go, and sometimes things change unexpectedly." This level of secrecy isn't uncommon for Sheridan's writing style. He's notorious for leaving breadcrumbs without offering a full loaf, making every season of Yellowstone and its spin-offs feel like a treasure hunt for dedicated fans. Could Sheridan be holding back for a future reveal? Some fans believe that Sheridan is deliberately withholding the truth about Kevin Costner's lineage for a big future reveal. While Spencer Dutton seems like the best bet, the lack of an explicit connection leaves room for alternative theories. Some viewers speculate that a previously unknown Dutton brother or cousin might emerge in a later season, throwing another curveball into the family history. There's also the possibility that Sheridan is playing the long game, waiting until a later installment, perhaps another prequel series, to finally clarify the connection. Given that 1923 is expected to continue for at least one more season, the next chapter might bring more clarity. Or, knowing Sheridan, it could just introduce even more questions. A legacy of mystery. One thing is clear: Sheridan enjoys making his audience work for their answers. The entire Yellowstone saga is built on secrecy, hidden motives, and long-buried family drama. From John Dutton IE's battle to keep his land to the generational struggles seen in 1883 and 1923, the Dutton legacy has never been straightforward. This tactic, while sometimes frustrating, has only fueled deeper fan engagement. The mystery surrounding Kevin Costner's on-screen grandparents has become a talking point in online forums, with theories ranging from the logical to the outlandish. Some fans even joke that Sheridan himself might not have fully decided on the answer yet. What's next for 1923 and Yellowstone? With 1923 set to return for another season and Yellowstone approaching its dramatic conclusion, it's only a matter of time before more pieces of the puzzle are revealed. Whether or not we get a definitive answer about John Dutton IE's lineage remains uncertain, but one thing is for sure: Taylor Sheridan isn't in any rush to give away his secrets. Until then, the mystery remains, leaving fans and even the cast guessing. One thing we do know: in the world of Yellowstone, surprises are always just around the corner.